Hey guys, it's Tori, and today I'm going to be discussing my TBR for the Past and Future Readathon. This readathon is being hosted by Emily from Novel Novels and Gemma from Read a Book Gem. I am so excited to participate in this readathon. I really love these two channels, these lovely ladies, and I'm excited to support them and also just participate in a readathon because it's been a few months since I've been able to do that. This readathon is basically themed around the idea of appreciating books we've read in the past and then looking forward to reading more books in the future, which is why January is really the perfect time for it, and I love that they put it in January just to really reflect on the past year and then look forward to the year ahead with reading. So there are 8 prompts total and then 1 group read. I will not be doing the group read, and I am only going to be doing 4 of the prompts. So there's 4 that were written for the past and 4 written for the future. I'm going to be doing 2 of each, at least to start off with. If throughout the month I read more than these 4 books, that's great. But I'm trying to give myself a little more leeway to mood read a little bit more this year, so I don't want to overwhelm myself by creating a long list of specific books I want to read when I may not be in the mood for those as time goes on. So these 4 books I do feel pretty solidly I'm going to be reading, primarily because several of them have to do with read-alongs I'm participating in, and then at least one of them is a book I've already started. So I'm going to be talking about those 4 books, and then at the end of the month I'll discuss if I add any other books. I do have a few other books I know I'm going to be reading this month that may fit prompts, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. But let's just start with these 4. The first prompt I'm going to be doing for the past is to read a book recommended to you by someone older than you, and for this I'm going to be reading the first half of Vanity Fair by William Thackeray. Now this is one that I'm doing a read-along for. I will link that announcement down below in case you're interested. But we are reading this across the month of January and February, and then Gone with the Wind, which is, it's not quite a retelling, I've discovered. I thought it was a retelling, but it sounds like it's more just very similar to this story. So either way, I think it will be interesting to read these back to back. Anyway, so I'll be reading the first half of this throughout the month of January, and it works perfect for this prompt because, well, I guess not super perfect, it's a slight stretch. But my mom, back in October when I did my Victober TBR, I originally was considering reading this because one of the prompts I received in my own personal TBR game was for one of my parents to pick from the books that were available within that round, and my mom picked this one. She hasn't actually read it though, so it was recommended to her as far as it was chosen in that TBR game, but she technically hasn't read it, so it's not a real recommendation. However, I know several people on BookTube who are older than me who have recommended this in general, so I'm just going to count it for that because I think it works well enough for the sake of the readathon. But I'm really excited to get more into this. I actually have started it literally only 17 pages in. I've decided I'm going to read about 17 pages a day at least throughout January, which will get me up to the halfway point that I want to. So anyway, I have started it and it's actually really good so far. I'm very intrigued by it, so we'll see how it goes the rest of the way. But yes, so that's that one. The other past prompt that I'm going to be fulfilling for sure is a book set before you were born, and for this I'm going to be reading Fathers and Sons by Ivan Turgenev, I believe is how you say his name. And this is a book I don't have quite yet, it's in the mail, but it is the first book being read for Jennifer Brooks's book club, which I don't think I've joined the Discord for yet. That's really awkward. Anyway, I do want to read this book and join Jennifer Brooks in her classics book club that she started. So this is, like I said, the first one that's going to be read. It's not very long. I know nothing about it, but it is set before I was born, as it was also written well before I was born, so it's going to work for that prompt. Then for my first future prompt that I'm going to be fulfilling, I'm going to be reading another half of Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, and this is for the prompt to read a book you've promised yourself you would read in the future, and I have long been telling myself I need to get to this book. It's such a classic of historical fiction, especially Tudor historical fiction, and I really want to get through it. I've wanted to for a long time, and I'm hosting a read-along for this one as well, actually with Emily from Novel Novels, who is also hosting this readathon, and Marissa from blatantly bookish. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. But anyway, this story follows Thomas Cromwell, who was a very important advisor in King Henry VIII's court and played a big role in a lot of the drama that unfolded with Henry VIII's 6 wives. So definitely a very interesting premise, especially for people who are interested in this era. And it's just said to be so well written, and I'm really looking forward to it. Again, I'm only reading about half of it because we're reading it across January and February. But I know for sure I'm going to be reading this, and even though it's only halfway, it's still, I don't know. I mean, it's still gonna take time, I think, especially just the way it's written. It sounds like it's a little bit on the denser side, the way it's written. So anyway, it will definitely take me time, so I figured I may as well apply it to this readathon so that I can get that prompt done and still be working on this the way I need to. So anyway, there's that. And the last prompt I definitely will be fulfilling for the future section of the prompts is a book that features a profession you wanted to do when you were younger. And when I was younger, I of course wanted to be an actress. I think very many children wanted to be actors and actresses. So I ended up deciding to go with Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I actually have read about half of this and really am liking it so far. This story follows a post-apocalyptic world where there's been a virus that's gone on and killed the majority of the population, and so it's a very, you know, cars don't work anymore. They don't have people to do all the things that we now have. So for example, getting electricity to work, the plumbing, all these different things. And so it's very much a post-apocalyptic world where everybody lives in small towns, and there's this traveling group of performers, musicians and actors that do Shakespeare as well as perform music. And like I said, I wanted to be an actress when I was younger, so I feel like this works well for that prompt. And it's also set in the future, so it works very well for this readathon, and I am very excited to finish it because I'm very curious to see how this story ends up going, how everything links together, because right now I'm very confused. So anyway, it's really good so far, and that's what I will be reading for that prompt. So that is it. That is my past and future readathon TBR. Let me know down below if you're participating, what you're planning to read, as I would love to know, or even just what you're planning to read as you kick off the year of 2022, which is just crazy to think about. I don't know. Time just seems to be flying so fast. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time.